Hope you are doing great, right? So there were some slides, we couldn't complete in the last class, so we will just finish them first. Just one of them is there, and then we will start with a new chapter. That's the second chapter after the introduction, and that is Tahdith, modernization. In fact, when we say global emerging trends, it's almost the same thing, but modernization is one of them. But if you look at it from a general point of view, then it may look the same: modernization of business and the trends. But we'll see specifically into Tahdith, and that's a trend. As a trend, as something which is picking up. Companies are trying to modernize themselves. So that's our topic. Very interesting topic. In fact, I got this lecture very late. This course was allotted to me just a week ago. Otherwise, and also you are all too occupied. Otherwise, we should have done it the other way around. Like, you should have prepared. I should have allotted each topic to you to prepare, and then I would have added my comments to them. But then let's have the lectures as we are going ahead with. So the topic is modernization. Before we do that, what we saw in the last class, we saw an example of the REI, which is a retail major retail outlet, and what they did, they took a decision in 2016 November that they are not going to open their shops on any store across the country on the very black day, which is considered to be like Eid for them. For us, Eid is very important. We normally do shopping, we buy things on Eid, but it's a similar festival there in the West. They do their shopping, they engage in buying on the Black Friday, and it has been a trend. It has been a tradition for, I just spoke a word, tradition, and the trend is just opposite of it. Tradition is old and trend is an ux of this word, tradition. So the Black Friday used to be a tradition, people used to buy, but REI decided that we are going to go with a campaign called Opt Outside. People were surprised and it became a news, but the result was a big hit. It was later followed by many other companies. So the question was, we didn't discuss this in the last class, was what was the reason REI decided to go for this campaign? What was the main reason? Why did they decide on this? The reason, is because REI was studying the trend. They knew, that the people are now vying for a change. They need some change. So they were studying it. So what we can understand is that the study of trend is not something we do casually. We must do research and we should find out. We should study well. We should keep ourselves updated regarding the trend. And this is how REI became a winner. Their scheme of Opt Outside became a big hit, right? So this is what we have to understand the importance of trends in the life of a business manager, and we are basically focused on the trends that affect business. There can be other trends also, political trends. We are not interested in political trends too much unless those political trends affect us in any way. So in the business, then if it translates into the business, we will see what political trends. Suppose politically we see that China may be emerging as, any question from your side? China may be emerging as a trading giant and a big power. It is already a power, we know it. Yeah, like the problems between countries. So we are not going to touch on that. These are something we get into conflicts, controversies. So we should not touch the political issues. So we will only be concentrating on the trends. Yeah, of course, those political trends which start affecting the business, that will be very much seen, but they are not of direct immediate consequence to the business. So we will be bothered about the trends which affect business directly, like changes in exchange rate, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, the artificial intelligence. These are major changes. Saudi Arab coming up with the NEOM project, and they are leading in artificial intelligence. Now the lockdown, the corona lockdown, COVID lockdown is a major thing to follow, because it was just a lockdown, but it is now, we have to see how is it going to affect the business when it opens up. The businesses are still opening up. Now you saw in the last few days, especially in Saudi, in fact in other countries, UK and many other Middle Eastern countries, there was already a more restrictions, but in the last few days here also we have seen that the restrictions have come back. Some of the mosques have been shut for sanitization, etc. So we will see that in time to come, the effects of COVID will be seen in the business. So that's a trend to watch for. Aramco is going to sell its share. That's a trend to watch for. So how do we define trend? That's something we complete that lesson today and then move forward to modernization. So we have already understood the importance of this topic. How is it important? As a manager, we must keep ourselves updated and read and know what are the trends going on, what is the future which is going to affect us. And secondly, the competition will increase, so we will have to beat the competition, we have to be updated. An example of such a success is the REI opt-out side. Remember this example. Okay, so what is a trend? What is meant by global trend? It's a shift or change in the fundamental business dynamics within an industry. It's a shift or change in the fundamental business dynamics. While I was doing some research today for preparing the lecture, I found something called the Amazon effect. Very interesting. This is there are in every few years, there are companies who completely change the industry. So the Amazon, they change the retail industry completely. We will take it up later in marketing or technology trend, but we have to see that this effect, this is a trend that has come up. Now we cannot escape like Google. It's there, we cannot challenge it. Facebook is a trend. You have to use Facebook for advertising, for doing business. Instagram, social media is a trend. So This means, the trend means that there is a shift or change in the fundamental business dynamics within an industry. So that's what we have to look for as a graduate of business. Keep looking for such changes which are taking place. Like Amazon, it's very clear now. There is no rocket science, and there is nothing hidden or something to research for. It's all over. I mean, when you look for shopping online, Amazon is there. It has changed the way people used to do. Small businesses, they are doing their business through Amazon. Retailing has changed completely. In fact, in the if you study, maybe in masters or somewhere, you can do a research on the effect of online retailing on the offline retailing. What was the effect? How much has it changed? So you will see over the period of time, with the technology, with internet basically, the online retailing is going up. So that's a very important trend to watch for. Many companies have shifted, or at least opened in an online section in their company. So when you visit their website, like HP, Dell, all the computer companies, many companies have all started offering online products, online shopping facility to their customers. How? Why is it done? Because that's the trend. You have to follow it. Otherwise, we will be beaten in the competition. So it's a shift or change in the fundamental business dynamics. How should I translate this? Asasi dynamics. What is dynamics? Let me just see. I will not bother you. I will translate myself. Dynamics. What do we call dynamics in Arabic? Dynamics is, there is no translation for dynamics. It's strange. Business dynamics. Let me write business dynamics. It says the dinamiyat al-amal. Okay. Anyway, like strategy, dynamics is also has no translation in Arabic. Do you have any translation for dynamics? So what happens? The business working, functioning changes. Okay. So business trends tend to drive enterprise-wide strategic decisions. Enterprise-wide, the entire company is affected by the change taking place outside. Suppose there is harki or mutaharrik. Okay, all right. So harki or mutaharrik dynamics. Yes. So there is a change in the entire business model, and it is reflected in not just in one company, but in the entire industry sometimes, as we saw in the case of RAI, that the outside became so hit that another company, Patagonia, and then there are many other companies who started giving off. So that's what trend is. Let's move forward now. Let's come to our topic, modernization. I was just looking for some of the articles. In one of the articles, I found this photo. So I said, okay, let's make it a theme of the class. We are all now very familiar with this. This is what is this? Very soon in Dubai, it's a very common thing now today to see this creature. Okay, somebody has answered. Let me just see. But I will prefer if you answer on WhatsApp group. Is it a camera? Okay, it's a camera, but not just a camera. It's a flying camera. What is that? This creature called? You see, there are some. It's flying, isn't it? It's a drone, mashallah. Yes, Sultan and Firas was right. It's a drone, and this drone, I remember, I was teaching technology operations management some years, 3-4 years ago. 2 times I taught. So I was looking for some example of automation, and I found an example of a Japanese restaurant where drone was used to serve the customers. So the customer will give order, but instead of a human being, drones were delivering the products, the food, to the customers. So that's application of technology to hotel industry. And this drone Amazon is using. I mean, Amazon, then many courier companies, they are using, but it's still in the starting stage. So this is going to be the technology, this is going to be the trend for many organizations to look for. I mean, drones are going to be there, drones and robots are going. Somebody has given YouTube link. Yeah, really? Is this the same Japanese? Let me see. Oh yes, very good. So, mashallah, very good. I am happy to see that you are participating. Who are you? Your name, please. 5314. So you can Mohammad Hureb. Good, mashallah. So you can all watch this video. Amazon drone delivery. It's a trend. It's a trend, and many companies see when it comes to a strategic decision in emerging trends course, we are not deciding. We are not trying to make any decision. But in the strategic management course, there you learn which decisions we want to, whether we are going to go for drone application in our business or not. It's the task of the strategic managers. But as a specialist of emerging trends, we are only watching for the trends. So this video you watch for and see how it works. It's an interesting video. If somebody can write a small summary, that will be further great. Okay, so what is modernization? What does it mean? I mean, there is no book, as you know, for this course. There is no book, and one of the reasons why we cannot have a book on emerging trends. You know why? Because books take a long time to publish. So suppose I am writing a book on emerging trends. By the time I write, it takes around 2 to 3 years. So if I complete the book in 2019, it comes to the market in 2021, and by this time the things he said was trend has become a tradition, isn't it? It was trend, but now it has become a tradition. Everybody is using it. So what to study from this? So that's the problem with this course. There cannot be a textbook. All right. So what is the definition? So from the various places I gathered some of the some good articles. Modern is defined as characteristic of present and recent time, contemporary. In definition, in dictionary, in dictionary it is defined as characteristic of present and recent time, contemporary, not antiquated or obsolete. So this is a rough definition of word definition, logovi, not the technical definition of modernization. But when we go to the technical definition, modernization means the process of adapting something to modern needs or habits. So modern needs or habits. I mean, if you look back 50 years ago, jeans, the trousers, now we are talking about unisex apparel. I mean, jeans is worn by both men and women. But if you look back many years ago, not just some years ago, this was not a trend everywhere. It has become a trend. It became a norm, a habit in some, say, 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, not before that. Before that, people, even here, the fashion of wearing jeans, by both the sexes is maybe very new or maybe not there, it may be picking up. So, this is trend, this is trend. So, then comes the fast food, burgers, and so eating habits, food habits, wearing, technology. These are the things we have to look for as businessmen. We have to look for the trend. We don't have to, we are not change makers, okay. As a businessman, we are not trying to be change agents. That's something, we change agents, we do not normally there are only few companies who who are so strong that they bring about a change, but still that change is only when people are ready for that. So, they first do the research and see that the people are ready, they need it, they need this product, and so they launch it in the market after development. Like very famous example is of Sony Walkman. Now, Walkman is no more there, there are iPods, but if you read the book Made in Japan, there is a book Made in Japan, very nice book on Japan. So, in this book, it's written by Akio Morita, and Sony is a Japanese company, very famous company. How was Walkman? Walkman is, do you know Walkman? Have you seen Walkman? It used to be a fashion many years ago. It is no more there. Perhaps let me just show you what Walkman looks like. And that too I will show you Sony Walkman, okay. Let us look at the photo of the music device. You are right. See, this today it's MP3, MP4 and iPod, but the old, let us look at the old Sony Walkman. How did it look like? This is the old Sony Walkman, where they used to have cassettes, music cassettes, audio cassette. We insert it. Now, the thing is not about Walkman. I just wanted to explain the trend. What happened in case of Sony Walkman? The head of Sony visited some place, and while he was going through on a street, he saw, perhaps in USA, though he is from Japan, but he saw someone on a street carrying a big radio, FM radio, big radio on his shoulder. He was walking, so he saw and felt bad that this man, he has to carry such a big device to hear music. So, when he came back to his company and told his engineers, the R&D, to find something small which he can carry in the pocket and he can walk easily, freely. Then second problem was with that big radio was that the other people were also disturbed, because there was nothing like, it was an open sound. So, when you start playing music in your mobile phone without the earphone, what will happen? All people nearby will get disturbed. So, he said, find some solution to this problem, and his scientists, his engineers were able to develop the Walkman. Walkman became a very hit, and later with the development of CDs and then flash drives and inbuilt memory system, now the form and shape has changed. So, it is about watching the trend. Okay. So, the process of adapting something to modern needs or habits. Okay. Then the process of replacing legacy technologies with newer, more innovative platforms and services to streamline rule-based business processes, alleviating strain from the human workforce. Now, this one, this is a more, because when you search for modernization, most of the times they relate modernization with IT, most of the times, and it is true that When we call modernization, the thing that comes to our mind is IT, technology. It's 5G, artificial intelligence, robotics. These are making change to business and life. So it's mainly IT, but there are other areas also where modernization is taking place, like fashion, eating habits, etc. So that has also to be considered. Flexi working in HR. But with respect to IT, which is the more dominant ones in modernization, the process of replacing legacy technologies. Legacy technologies, what? Old technologies. Suppose a person is using the same old server to store, to keep his data. The company is using servers to keep data. That has changed. So you have to do away with this and see some alternative. Amazon is providing this facility, server facility, to the small business owners. They cannot keep lot of space because they have to pay for that. So Amazon has got a lot of space, so they are selling it, they are renting it out to small businesses. You can see and more detail on AWS, the Amazon Web Services. Look for it, find more details on this. Very interesting example, and these are all the things which we have to learn. Suppose some of you want to start your own business, a small business, how to sell. So we don't need to start our own website. We can take a space from Amazon, and Amazon will help us sell, become an online retailer. How to do that? You can read and find more details. Okay, so these are some definitions of modernization. At what level the change or adaptation will take place? So this is important. First of all, the major one, as I said, technology. That's today when we talk about change, there is a very strong role of IT in modernization, in the change. That is, very easy to understand. Like today, from 4G we are moving now to 5G. In Saudi, almost, I think I read in the news, 51 cities in the country already have 5G, isn't it? What is the benefit of 5G? Speed, very fast. And with this 5G, the many industry will change. The way we work, hospitals, education, many places. So you have to read more on it and understand how to use the speed of internet, which areas are going to be affected, banking, finance, industry. So that's the first level of change. The second is value and personality change. Modernization also means change in values or personality. That is also a change. So that also is called modernization. So in a company, people may change their work behavior. People may change. Many years ago, there are many cases of companies hiring husband and wife in their company. They believe, that if husband and wife are working together, the productivity increases. There is less distraction and they can work better. These are, trends to look for. Flexi working. There are many, women working who want time, to look after their children, to take care of the children. So companies decided to offer them work from home. This also was an experiment. These are all, trends which are to be adopted by the company, and this is called modernization, the change. And finally, institutional change. A complete overhaul, a complete change of the company institutional system. So many traditional companies, which were working as a laid back, slow, lazy type approach, they changed and they have become very dynamic. There are many case studies on such companies. Okay, so these are the levels of change. So what we have discussed so far: number one, what is modernization? So if I ask you a word for modernization, it means change. And another word, adaptation. Okay, so it's easier for us to remember through words. So it's a change or adaptation based on the trend. Okay, let's move forward. I mean, is it are you able to pay attention, I mean concentrate, or it's going you are getting bored? Okay, then next. Now we are talking about business modernization. So far, we were discussing about normal, general knowledge on modernization, but let's now focus on business. Why modernize? That's the main question, isn't it? Because Peter Drucker says, Peter Drucker is a very famous, he is a very famous business scholar, business scholar. You must have heard about him. He is also called the father of modern management. So he said the business of business is to do business. Very famous saying. What does that mean? It means that business is there to make profit, to make money. If it is not doing that, why are we studying trends if it is not going to help a business? I mean, you just go join a company and you tell them, I am going to study trends and change your company. So that doesn't make any sense, because in a company where it is for profit, like you are working for Zen Telecom, and you are working for Mobile, or you are working for McDonald's. So when we are working for a for profit organization, we must address the key questions. That is, how is this decision of modernization helping the business? So there are basically three questions. One, modernization increases revenue. Does it reduce costs? And does it increase share price? Any or all of the three? If the answer is yes, then the company will decide to go for modernization. Mean change in value, change in institution, or change in the technology. Technology change means what? I know we were using, you are using a Mac at individual level. We want to change the technology. We were using Windows and a normal in a system, but now we want to shift from this to MacBook or Linux operating system. So the question is why? What is the benefit I am getting? Am I going to increase my revenue, or is it going to reduce my cost, time? Or final question is, today everything is about share price also, because this has become the main thermometer, main yardstick to know whether the company is doing well or not. And you must have been seeing the Tadawul news these days. Tadawul index, TASI, has crossed some milestone. Did you read in the newspaper? I think it was today or yesterday. Tadawul index has crossed some milestone. So there was a news. So what does it mean? It means that share price of a company has become a very important milestone. And so in context of business, the modernization can be defined as improving current business processes to better support organizational objectives. This becomes so that's what will bind us, will keep us intact. We are not going here and there. That's why I said why to go for all types of modernization or trends for political, social, everything. We are not concerned about everything. We are concerned, suppose we take any example, suppose we are Almarai Corporation. Now the most important thing is that all the tools and techniques that we are learning in the classroom, we are going to use them to meet the objectives of Almarai. We are not going to make a new company. We are not going to make something everything, we are going to bring everything to the company. But every organization has some set objectives. And the question for business modernization will be, only if we are able to justify that you modernize or you change, you take new practice, if it is supporting the organizational objective. Understood? So, modernization in general, then modernization levels where it can be applied, and then modernization in business. Why should we or why should not we change? Why should the company decide to modernize or not? So, these are the plain simple questions, answers that we have to ask, whether buying this technology is going to whether going for online. There is a very famous case study, I forgot the name, you can find out if you can. There is a famous case study of a retail store who decided not to go online. This is a very peculiar example of a retailer who decided we are not this. If I am not wrong, this is a British, or you can just, if you have the answer, just tell me or find it out before I finish the discussion on this. There is a big retailer, not just a country based, but on the world level, online retailer, offline retailer, who have decided that they are not going to sell online even in the lockdown. Do you know the name of that? That may be a quiz for you, so you can find it out later or now. Now that's their decision, because to change to online is not fitting with their objective, their culture. So they decided not to go for online. So that's a decision. So we as analysts, we are finding out all the trends, but we are not trying to apply everything to our business. We will apply only those things which will increase our revenue, reduce the cost, and increase the share price. Okay, let's move forward. Now, again, after searching for a lot of information, I found a very good model of modernization. But if you look at this model, it's mainly about the IT, the IT modernization, but it is, you can see that it is also affecting the overall business. How the modernization, the change in the company, the change in company to the new system will affect the entire overall company. So at the bottom level, there is IT modernization. So you change your system. Suppose customer relationship management. Now customer relationship management has long been being automated. So what we do, when we call any service company, or for that matter any company, even Saudi Electricity or Saudi Telecom, anyone, what happens? Now they are using automated systems. So when we call somebody from that side, is not a human being but a computer who is responding to us. So how is that helping? That is helping in many ways, by reducing the cost, time, increasing efficiency, etc. So at the base level, the IT modernization is there, but then it must, or it affects the improvement in business processes. How? The business process. What are business processes? The operations like customer relationship management, purchasing, vendor selection, all of them, like IT selection, which IT infrastructure we should buy, where should we, distribution, supply chain, all processes. So every process in the business should become cheaper, faster, more agile, more fast, more quick to change, and productive, etc. So this is how the modernization in IT help in business modernization. It helps the business. So we have to understand, we relate with this definition, that in business modernization we are not looking for uh, change in isolation. I mean, only buying a new technology is not enough for us. That technology should help in making our business process cheaper, faster, more agile. Agile means what? Agile means quick to respond. Ajabia. So we are responsive, fast. Fast is to do fast, but agile means to be very quick to change. Productive. I mean, our output should be more. Earlier, when we were attending to 5 calls, now this system is able to take 100 calls. So this is how modernization is done. So this is a reflection in a model form how the modernization at the IT level helps in the modernization of business as a whole. How does it help? Okay. So what are the trends? Last part. Okay. So that's the most important. So we have understood so far that modernization means to change, to adapt to the trend. How does it help business? Then at what levels does it affect? Now the question is, in modernization, what are so these are the trends in modernization. The companies are changing, they are fast applying the change. Trends in the entire course, every chapter we will take up different subjects like marketing, HR trends, IT, finance trends, but here we are talking about trends in modernization. Yani the companies have already started using these changes. So it's not a trend, it's actually the modernization going on in the companies. What are those? There are, I searched for a lot of information and then finally decided to give you how many are the 7 main trends in modernization which are being applied by the companies. What are these? Number 1, let me know first how many of them you already know. These are very simple, you must be reading. How many of you already know? Tell me. So I'll take them. You are just you have heard of the names. First, cloud based solutions, real time marketing, automation for daily tasks, electronic signature for a better environment, custom application programming interface, employee communication system, measures against potential cyber attacks. So who will tell out of these 7 which of these you have heard, and if you are familiar then tell me more on it, but at least have you heard about them? Have you heard it earlier? Companies are now shifting from the past system to the new system, and they are modernizing. That is modernizing. So is there any of the 7 you know already, or more than one you know? Have you heard of it? No. Okay. So first of all, now the trend is about cloud based solutions. What is cloud computing? Do you know? Even in our university, they may be going for, in Saudi, like Google Drive. Yes, like Google Drive, G Drive. But what is the problem with Google Drive? It's limited. If we buy a business package, then we have to pay something, and it has some security issues. But this is a trend. iCloud, very good, iCloud. But the question is, what about this technology? These are examples. What does it mean? What does it mean for, and why? Why people are, there are 2 questions. One, this cloud technology, what it is, and why the companies are now shifting to this. Any idea? To protect your information. Firas is right. Okay. One reason, to protect information, but more than protection, the first need is something else. Easy to access. Very good. Yes. Who said? Mohammad Hureb. Yeah. Mohammad Hureb. Yes, easy to access. Why? Easy to access. So now the companies are trying to easy to access. Then what else? Cost also gets cost advantage is also there in cloud. Always available. Very good. Yes, cloud, when we put something on cloud, it's always available anytime, and that's where if we are working from anywhere in the world, we can access our data. So that makes our work omnipresent. We can access the information, our own information, from anywhere. Earlier, how it started? It started from a floppy. Then there was a disk. We can take the disk with us. Then it used to be big servers. Then it became website, World Wide Web, and then finally, we are in the age of cloud system, where we can upload the information on some central database in the cloud, and anytime, anywhere we can access. Amazon is doing this. Amazon is providing this service to the various companies. It can be, the cloud can be general, or it can be customized. So more details, we are not experts, although I wrote 2 papers with my colleagues in Khalid University. They are IT experts. They are in College of Computer Science. So I enjoyed doing that because I was trying to help them in the review of literature on what are the issues in cloud-based solutions. So one was for sustainable education. In education, cloud is becoming very useful. So in Saudi, many universities are trying to shift to cloud-based, database system. They to store cloud-based storage. Now the question is what it is. It is the memory. It is the data storage system, which was earlier used to be in a server, in a World Wide Web server. Now it is kept in a central system, which is, first of all, it is anywhere available, accessible by any device. It is also convergent. Any device can access the data, and it is secured. As Firas said, it is secured. Why it is secured? Because there are so many data and so much that it's very difficult for the hackers to find exactly which data is belongs to this company or that company. So hard to hack. Yes, Firas is right. Always available and hard to hack. Okay, that much is enough to know the trend. We are not going to be expert in just this course. Okay, so but as a manager, we have to watch for it. And suppose you join a company, the company doesn't know anything about cloud. Tell them, try to explore if this solution can help the company. Second, let's come to the second one. Second is real-time marketing. What does it mean, real-time marketing? Real-time marketing especially is about marketing intelligence system. Marketing intelligence system. Intelligence system, the Makhbarat, if I am not wrong, is very important in marketing. Although in general business also, the strategic managers, they keep an eye on the market, the competitors. But for marketing, it's very important. In day-to-day basis, they have to be very careful about what is going on in the market, what promotion has come. So how what was the problem earlier? How was it working? Do you have any idea? How was marketing information system? If we are not able to complete, we will take it in the next class, no problem. Because I am not going to make it too burdensome for you. We just want to enjoy as much as possible. So in real-time marketing, anybody can tell me what was the process? How do marketing, the Department of Marketing, collect information? What is the traditional practice? cookies. I mean, you are going straight to IT, but I am not talking about IT. I am talking about the traditional system of gathering information from the market, what is going on in the market, to connect with people in the right place at the right time. Okay, good, a proper any bookish definition. So what happened? My source of information. First of all, why is marketing in need of information? Because marketing, they have to sell every day. Every day, they have to sell. They have to convince the client to buy the product and give money as the cost of the product, and this becomes a very challenging task for the marketing, and the competitors are always trying to beat the company. So in this process, the marketing is a very hard job for means if you look at target or goal based, marketing is a very difficult job, especially the selling part. And what we have to do, we have a target and we have to sell in the market. We have to always see what is going on. You always see, there are offers, promotion going on someday, and that is where Amazon beat the offline retailers. They gave the market price, they gave the products at such low price that the customers switched from offline to online. That is the Amazon effect. So what happened earlier, when the technology was not so advanced, the sales people will go to the market, to the different stores every day they visit. They will collect information about the marketplace and send it to the head office or the department. Then what will happen? The next was, the technology changed. They started sending emails, messages, calls. Now is the time for real time communication, real time marketing. So and that is going to happen through social media, Instagram and Facebook. So what has changed is that instead of waiting for the information to come, these social media and the new technology, the quick communication technology, instant messaging, has helped the marketing to get the information in a very short time and also in a very processed form. You understand processed form? I mean, I want to know how many people searched for mobile phones today. So it has become very easy, for my mobile phone today. What I can do, I will just go to Google and see my traffic on checking my mobile phone, and this becomes a very important and useful information. I can then make out, okay, this is the trend. The people searched for, you can easily find out that, isn't it? You can do it now. If you want to see on Google, at Google Trends, there is something called Google Trend. If you search for Google Trend, you will see what was the word, which was keyword searched the maximum today, yesterday, in the last month. So you will see, that this is free, but when we pay for the service, Google will tell us more about products, about our industry, etc. So the real time marketing means the instant information, processed information with all the analytics available to us in real time, and so our strategy will be much better. Our promotion schemes, our various programs will be much better compared to the last time, the previous time. So that's the next trend, second trend to watch for. So companies have to modernize. They must shift from the old generation information system, intelligence system, to the new generation intelligence system. And again, the company will ask you, this is the trend. But when you go and convince your CEO, he will ask you, will it increase my share? Will it reduce my cost? Or will it increase my sale? If the answer is yes, then he will say, okay, go ahead, tell me what will be the budget, do we have the money to buy this or not, because this is paid. Modernization has a cost. So, we have to convince our manager, see, this is what if we do, this is the benefit and how much time will it take to give the return. That is number 2. Number 3, automation for daily tasks. What does it mean? I mean, one of the most easy examples to look around is ATMs. It has become old, it is no more a trend, but you see ATMs, what was it? What is the full form of ATM? And this will be the last thing we will discuss today. We will discuss in the next class, complete the discussion in the next class. How many slides are left? Yeah, there are still some slides. So, you have heard about ATMs. What is the full form of ATM? Yeah, what is the expansion? What does A, T and M stand for? Especially, this word T has come directly from the bank branch. What is this? Very good, Firas. Automated teller machine. This teller is a counter. Teller is a counter in a bank branch. They are still there. So, when you go to a bank branch, you will see, there are counters where we go and take money or deposit money. You have seen that. So, but today we hardly go there for withdrawing money or depositing money. We sometimes go. That job of paying the money, when our own money that we used to go and withdraw from the bank, that changed completely by the invention of ATM. What happens now? We do not need to go to a person. There is a machine and we just insert our card. Earlier it has also evolved, it has changed. Earlier we can only withdraw card from the same bank, but now we can withdraw from any bank ATM. We insert the card, write down how much money do we need, and what happens? The money comes out. In case if the money is there with us, if you have only 100 reals in your account and you type 500, then they will not give you money. But if it is the money there, you can take the money as much you desire. So, this job used to be, this was a daily task in bank some years ago, 30 years, 40 years ago, old generation banks. This used to be a daily task for the human being, but with the machine, automated teller machine, this became a very easy, simple task. Yeah, there is a one-time investment in money investment, because when you install an ATM, yes, it allows the customers to complete basic transactions without the aid of a branch representative or teller. It reduces time. Always you will see personal contact is bad, because when there is Mohammed Hureb is right, except for high amounts of cash. So, they know they know that 5,000 reals and less you can withdraw from ATM. If you need more, you can go to the bank and withdraw from there. So, the transaction number has come down drastically. But what are the benefits? You do not have to contact personally. You can the customers are delighted. It takes very less time, compared to human transaction. It has become this is one example, and there are million of examples today where we see that automation of daily tasks has taken place. Accounting in companies. Now, there is no need for hiring 5 accountants. You have a software, all the data, if one person will keep on feeding, and in fact, not just feeding, the data will come directly from the different sources and accounting will be done, the balance sheet will be made. So, these are daily tasks where automation is helping in reducing the cost, increasing customer satisfaction, increasing the viability of the company. So, that is the third trend. Should we stop here? It is 5:32. I think it is enough, isn't it? We will complete this in the next class, because all of these we will be again revising in the next chapters, but this week we will have a quiz.